Wow, what a win. Arizona beats UConn in Stores, Connecticut, and stakes claim to the number one team in the nation. Doesn't matter yet. Doesn't matter a ton to have number one. But what does matter is Arizona's 5-0 and the best team in the land. We'll discuss that next on Postcast.
You are Locked On Wildcats, your daily podcast on the Arizona Wildcats. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Wildcats Postcast. Arizona beat UConn, and they were the better team throughout. That's the best team in the country because they've beaten three teams that were ranked higher than them in the AP poll to begin the season, and they have the best resume in college basketball. But the bigger thing here is Arizona was the better team all game long in Stores, Connecticut. In a hostile environment. That wasn't a neutral site. That wasn't it's closer to the other school's venue. That was a clear, hostile environment where Arizona was undeterred and was the better team. I have tons of takeaways for you, but the first one is Arizona's defense is legitimate. And we had questions entering this season of, okay, the offense should be top 20. How good can the defense be? Well, the defense carried the offense in back-to-back games against UCLA and Connecticut. They got very little from the ancillary pieces today and still won. The stars were stars, though. Jaden Bradley with that up and under move at the end, beating the buzzer and putting UConn away. Huge. Peat, 16 and 12. Like, Arizona's stars delivered, and the rest of the team played well enough. What stood out the most, though, is what I anticipated would happen as soon as I saw Terrace Reed was out. And that really does stink that Terrace Reed was out because I think that this team was going to win anyway. I picked them to beat UConn. But when Terrace Reed was out, UConn had only one chance. It was to knock down more threes than Arizona by a significant margin. But Arizona was going to clog the paint and dominate the glass. And dominate the glass they did. Arizona had 43 total rebounds as compared to UConn's 23. UConn was kind of weak in the rebound department against BYU, -1. They're -20 in this. Arizona +20. Arizona also turned those 13 offensive rebounds to 16 second chance points. And how often have I praised the Arizona for what I think can happen is they're going to get good looks on offense to begin, and then they're going to get great looks on second chances because they should dominate the glass. They finally dominated the glass. The rebounding margin was absolutely monumental in this game and will be a strength for Arizona. I promised you guys things at the beginning of the season. I said Arizona's going to be a top 20 offense. Arizona's going to be top 20 in tempo. Right now, they're a little slower than that, so maybe they're not, but I still think they will. They should be top 25 on defense, and the biggest one was they should be top 25, top 20, top 15 in rebounding margin. They finally came alive and rebounded like they can. Mo Krivas, Peat, and Tobey Walker are the best trio in the country at rebounding the basketball. They out-rebounded Florida, they out-rebounded UConn by 20, and out-rebounded UCLA, and that is a recipe because their first shot offense is legit. They're going to get better because this is another game in which they did not get any production hitting threes. Arizona went 2 of 10 from 3. They've won 2 games against Florida and Connecticut. The teams have won the last 3 titles in the game that we love in college basketball by making 2 threes in both those games. 2 of 10 from 3. Arizona is able to manufacture good looks because they go in 2 of 10 from 3, and I thought they missed some bunnies that they really should have made. 46% from the field still, better than what UConn did with those beautiful sets that Danny Hurley runs, and Arizona is able to win without the ancillary pieces, the guys that I wanted to step up, stepping up. I wanted to see Burries score. I wanted to see Del Orso, Karchenkov, Aristode really impact the game because I thought what would win this game was whose non-stars would step up. UConn's non-stars played better than Arizona's, but Arizona's stars were the best players on the court. Jaden Bradley, 21 points, 8 of 9 from the free throw line, and boy was he clutch once again. Bona fide closer, stud. Peat loomed large. I wish Arizona gave him the ball more in this game. 16 points, 12 boards, 3 assists, and vital rebounds. Thank you guys for hopping into Postcast. So thrilled to see it. Arizona should be ranked number 1. I agree with you, sports-minded fan, in the comments. I said that before the episode that came out today previewing this game. I think that Arizona already had the best resume and now undeniably do. Arizona's defense won this game. Their defense won a game where they scored 71 points and held UConn to 67. UConn was a top 6 offensive efficiency team in the land. Coming up next, I'm going to react to some keys to the game, and we'll take a moment break and going to break down exactly how Arizona won this game and revisit the keys that I said, if this happens, Arizona will win. And spoiler, a lot of them did happen. All that and more ahead on Locked On Wildcats postcast. And thank you guys for joining. Cannot wait to delve into it with a huge win for what should be the number 1 team in the country coming Monday's AP poll. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay or shoot a shot for a bigger payout. For instance, I bet on Arizona to win against UConn live, as well as Dayton to beat Marquette. We'll see how that one goes. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push like the Wildcats did. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Welcome back to Postcast. My goodness, what a game! And the takeaways I mentioned, I'll read you guys what I wrote in terms of my takeaways that I have in my notes at the start. Then we'll revisit the keys. My first takeaway says Arizona's defense is legitimate. This is a top 20 defense, and if Arizona's top 20 defense, top 20 offense, that's a Final Four contender. That's the recipe. Bradley, legitimate closer. The Stars delivered, and rebounding margin was the difference in this game. Arizona got far better shots. There's still lots of room to grow, but the Stars are stars in this game, and so the other guys will get better. Ryba's threes, this is a takeaway that had UConn won. Ryba's threes were massive because Arizona clogged the paint. Game plan from Tommy Lloyd was fantastic, playing significant drop coverage, allowing for everyone to navigate and get over the screens and impact Caravan and solo ball. And my last one says, no one's hitting threes, and you can still beat UConn. This team's legit. So that's the key, right? This is the better team. The better team was Arizona all night long. All night. They shot better, and they got better looks, and I think they left a lot of points to be had. I think Arizona should have been up by 10 at half. It concerned me that Arizona was only up 2 because they were scoring easily, and UConn was scoring free throws or contested threes, and they would quell the momentum that Arizona had. They only led by a little bit. UConn was able to hit open shots, but Arizona was getting every rebound and was getting better looks to score. And I felt like when the foul trouble was hitting UConn stars, Solo Ball had 2, Caravan with 2, Ryba with 2, and Demery with 2. You have to extend that lead. I was very worried coming into the start of the second half. In the start of the second half, Arizona was super intentional and scored 14 of the first 18 points within the paint of the second half. And they built a bigger lead. They ended up having the lead taken back. And Arizona had the poise and the veteran presence from Jaden Bradley to hit a mid-range jump shot to stop momentum, to have that up and under, put the ball away. Mo Krivas was fantastic. I thought he was the best player in the first half. I don't know if I would say he's the best in the second half. I thought Peat was really, really good in the second half, but he was the best player in the first half and dominated the game, changing the shot chart for UConn, making them shoot only mid-range jump shots, which the analytically derived UConn Huskies would never want to do. And Tobe Awaka came up huge, hitting 4 free throws. 4 free throws that put this game away after Bradley gave Arizona the lead. Arizona's defense won the game to start, and the freshman star in Peat and the seniors delivered once again. Mo Krivas, a lot of you guys were saying, oh, he's soft, he's not doing enough offensively, and I've told you guys, I thought his defense was being underrated. His offense is now real, but he had 14 rebounds, 14 of the 43 that Arizona had to propel them past UConn. Now let's revisit my keys that I wrote out prior to this episode, and the one that came out previewing how Arizona could beat UConn, and they've done it. Let's see how many of those keys were achieved. Okay, so here are the keys that I wrote. First things first, Arizona needs to win the glass as they have against Florida and UCLA. Arizona won the glass by 2 against Florida and by 7 against UCLA. And then as soon as Terrace Reed was out, I tweeted out that they need to dominate the glass. However, in those games, Arizona won the glass and had more chances, but not like tonight. Arizona was plus 20 on the glass with 16 second chance points. So that one was huge. My key that I gave was win the glass by 5 or more and score 20 or more 20 or more points in the paint plus free throws made than UConn, because UConn's a 3-point happy team. And if Terrace Reed is out, this one became even more attainable. So let's check the statistics on this one. So points in the paint, Arizona scored 42 points in the paint as opposed to 24, 18 greater. And then free throws, Arizona had 10 more than UConn. And so that is, and they went 19. So 42 plus 19, 61. UConn had 33. That's 28. So they achieved that goal. 2 for 2, rebounding and points in the paint. The two areas that I think Arizona should win every single night that they play. The next one will be stay competitive in 3-pointers made. I wanted them to stay within 5 3-pointers made, but 3 would have been ideal because UConn's going to need to make 3s to stay in this game, and they stayed in this game. The 3-pointers made did not go the way of the Wildcats. 8 of 25 were the Huskies, which is not a great percentage. That's 32%. You live with that if UConn shoots 32%. But Arizona went 2 of 10. So that one did not go their way. That's why this game was close. And then I said, UConn will have fewer easy baskets from Terrace Reed than usual because Mo Krivas is looming. He didn't play, but the idea remained. Arizona was able to generate better looks than UConn, even though UConn runs those meticulous, beautiful sets that misdirect and get people going different directions. And if Mo Krivas can stay on the floor, then Arizona should get better looks in this game, right? That's what I outlined. And the keys were, can Mo Krivas stay out of foul trouble, and can Peat stay out of foul trouble? Krivas picked up a third early in the second half, and I was scared. He kept playing a little bit, then he sat for a while. Awaka, more than capable. But Krivas elevates the ceiling for Arizona so enormously because Arizona is going to generate good looks. I still don't think their offense is playing that well. They went 2 of 10 from 3. Krivas and Peat missed plenty of bunnies. Bradley missed a couple. Del Orso missed a wide open layup. Del Orso wasn't particularly prolific in this game. Karchenkov missed open shots. Burry still has yet to get going. But Krivas gives Arizona a ceiling and a floor. This floor is that the defense is really good. It was gutsy. It was tough. Arizona can win games by playing good defense, and they can be great by having a great defense anchored by Mo Krivas. And when he's scoring on the offense, that's just gravy. He was great in this game. He was fantastic. The last key I had was whose extra guys, the non-stars, will win this game. And I would say that UConn's other guys were better than Arizona's, and that's why this game got close. Solo ball and Alex Karaban. I've said this before. Karaban is one of the best fourth best players on a team in the country, but he is nowhere near good enough to be a second best player. That was the issue last year for UConn. So when he's propitiated into a higher role like he was today, UConn's not going to win against good teams. And if they do, it's a testament to their game plan. But Terrace Reed being out was enormous, and Arizona capitalized by scoring on the interior and playing very stout defense. But the other guys stepped up. Eric Ryba had 15 points, and including big threes. And then you look at Jalen Stewart had 10 points, and I thought he did a pretty good job on Peat when he guarded him. Arizona was able to limit solo ball, who I tweeted out as soon as I saw Terrace Reed out. Like, all the action is going to go to solo ball. All the action is going to be, can he get the ball in a spot that allows him to knock down shots, or can Arizona get over those screens and make them take contested mid-range jump shots because Krivas is looming in the paint. Krivas is looming in the paint. They shoot mid-range jump shots. Arizona shoots layups, missed some, left some on the table, missed some free throws at vital points, and Arizona still was able to win this game on the road when momentum was firmly on the side of UConn. The better team won today. This was not fluky whatsoever. They were the better team, and in those keys, they dominated the glass, plus 20 on the glass, plus 28 in points in the paint, plus free throws made. That's the recipe for Arizona, and that's what I've said. This offense is consistently excellent. It's because it's repeatable, and you can get those type of shots. This defense has raised Arizona's floor and ceiling because they can stifle teams, play a slower pace. Unlike the teams that Tommy Lloyd's had previously, when the game got slower, Arizona could play competent defense, but this team can stifle teams ahead of time. This team can have a game plan go awry like UCLA instituted. It was their game plan. It was played at their tenor, their tempo, and Arizona was still more talented and generated better looks when it mattered most. They have two All-American caliber players, Peat and Jaden Bradley, and you need an All-American on a team, and you need at least a guard that's all-conference caliber, and Jaden Bradley's that, and then some. UConn did have, I'm seeing this in the chat, I've mentioned that I think Terrace Reed's their best player, both yesterday and the day before on the show. So I'm very well aware that UConn was missing a vital player. But Arizona was the better team by a lot in this one. The fact it was close was honestly a testament to resiliency for Connecticut. And sometimes when that happens and the game plan switches, because you've planned for defending Terrace Reed, I thought Arizona did well to not panic when the game got close and know that they were the better team. Sometimes when you know they're the better team throughout the game and the game gets close, all the momentum is on one side. That's what you see in March Madness when teams panic. And I thought that Ivan Karchenkov, I mentioned that I didn't think the ancillary pieces played particularly well because they didn't shoot well. I thought Karchenkov did a good job. And Burries did a good job defensively, hounding Silas Demery and defending solo ball. I've said that a couple times about Burries. Let's touch on Burries and why I think Arizona is nowhere near their ceiling still and should be the number one team in the country. We'll touch on that and a lot more. Send me some questions as well in the postcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. What a big win. I'm going to talk about that and much, much more after a slight break on Locked On Wildcats postcast. College football's back, and I couldn't be more excited. The tailgates, the rivalries, the energy in the stands, there's nothing like it. But let's be real. Actually getting tickets can feel like more of a battle than the game itself. Endless queues, hidden fees, prices jumping at checkout. That's why I use Gametime, the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the easiest way to score last-minute tickets at the best prices with no surprise fees. What you see is what you pay. I pulled up Gametime, and in just a couple taps, I saw amazing deals. I'm talking about your favorite college football games as low as $25. It's faster, cheaper, and less stressful than any other way I've bought tickets. So take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today. Welcome back to Locked On Wildcats. Leif Thulin with you here. Arizona beat UConn, have beaten Florida and UCLA, all of whom were considered to be better by the voters. I've been vocal about saying that Arizona was better than Florida coming into the season. I did not think Florida was that great, but Arizona had to battle in that one. Started off slow, showed off resiliency. They showed significant resiliency against UCLA in a game that I didn't think they played particularly well, especially because Peat wasn't very good. But UConn's a real deal Final Four contender. And I know they're missing Terrace Reed. Terrace Reed is the best player in UConn, in my opinion. He opens up their three-point shooting and how prolific it is. But Arizona went to Gamble across the entire country, a hostile environment, and was able to be the better team for 40 minutes. They were the better team throughout the entire night. They generated better looks. They were more physical. They were better on defense. And the fact UConn played this game close spoke to their level of resolve, their level of poise. But Arizona left a lot of points hanging at the end of the first half. I think they should have been up 10 at halftime, and they should have been up more than they were towards the end of the game when it got tight and UConn took that lead. Arizona got a little complacent, took some difficult shots. And the fact that this team is able to, at the end of the game, have a clarity of how to go score. It's Jaden Bradley getting to the rim. It's Peat on empty side pick and rolls. Really means a ton to me because you're 5-0 with wins against the preseason number 3, number 4, and number 12 teams in the country. And yes, I don't think UCLA is as good as number 12. I was low on them in the poll. I was low on Florida in the poll. I've said this. But I think that Arizona has the best resume by far. I said that entering this game, but right now it's undeniable. But also, Arizona might be the best team in the country right now, but is nowhere near their ceiling, and that is what has me so bullish. Like, there's no reason to celebrate being number one in the country. I saw a lot of people say, "Oh, why does it matter that I'm focusing on number one in the country?" It's a title. I mean, I told you guys I thought Arizona would be number one by January because I think they're going to start 18-2 or 19-1, maybe 20-0. because this is the game I was most worried about in non-conference. I told you guys that I thought Arizona within 3 or 4 weeks would be number 3 in the country. So far, so good. I've been very, very high on Arizona. I had them 8th preseason, which was way higher than they were in the poll, and I was too low. Arizona's a top 3 team in the college basketball right now and is nowhere near their ceiling because they've won 2 of these games against the big-time opponents, the reigning champions, 3 times over between UConn and Florida by scoring 4 combined threes. They are not getting production from 3. One of their starters, a 5-star freshman, is playing good defense, but is getting sped up and turning the ball over and not playing confidently. Confidence is a feeble thing. It ebbs and flows. If you see Burry start to play confidently, it opens up even more space for Peat, for Krivas. Awaka and Del Orso are bought into their roles coming off the bench. There's no drama. This team has faced adversity. It's not like they've skated and played teams and boat raced them. It's better that they've played these close games. Jaden Bradley's proven he's a bona fide scorer. There's a declaration of a pecking order, a hierarchy on this team. And for those, the conversation about UConn, I'm aware that Mullins is off the bench, but he hasn't played college basketball yet because he's missed the entire season. You don't know what he's doing. And UConn could have won with Terrace Reed and Mullins by double digits. I don't know. Arizona was better than them the entire night. And I'm not even a Wildcats fan. I'm not. I grew up a Stanford fan. The Wildcats fans know that. And so I think that Arizona deserved to win this game as a neutral observer, someone who really cares about basketball. If Burries can struggle, so can Mullins. And he hasn't played college basketball. So I don't count that into the equation here. Also, the one thing I will give credence to in that, though, is UConn, their depth was tested today, and their ancillary pieces had to play starring roles as opposed to being, just X factor guys. But they stepped up. They played well. Ryba and Ross were great in this game. I think that Arizona, the next thing they need to work on is three-point shooting, of course, is going to come and go. But when they shoot 2 of 10, they have answers. But some teams are going to be able to slow them down and be more physical with more bodies. Arizona was able to wear out UConn and get them in foul trouble. Some teams will have more bodies and they'll get fewer free throws. And there's going to be physical games called. So three-point shooting, of course, is important. And the turnovers kept UConn in the first half. So I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but this game could have been over as a double-digit victory for Arizona instead of a 4-point win. Made it fun, made it exhilarating. I think the chemistry of this team, the understanding of how to play, and I thought the game plan by Tommy Lloyd was fantastic. The drop coverage, packing the paint, dominating the interior was gigantic. Let's go through one more statistical thing because I like to tell you guys how repeatably excellent this offense is. 46% in a college basketball game is good. It's not even that good for Arizona because Arizona typically will shoot better from 2 than they did. And they shot very poorly from 3. Yet their stars combined for 37 points between Peat and Bradley, and they came up with big plays down the road. The 2 best players in the front court, I'll go just the big 3 rebounders in the front court. They combined for 33 rebounds between Awaka, Krivas, and Peat. And then there's plus 20 on the glass. Second chance points plus, it was 16-5, so plus 11. Points in the paint, 42-24. And Arizona did not get out and run at all. Credit to Connecticut. They stopped Arizona from getting out and run. Arizona had turnovers, doubled up UConn in turnovers, but most teams turned the ball over. UConn only had 5 turnovers, and they were all dead ball turnovers, and kept Arizona from doing something they do fantastically. And Arizona still was the better team all 40 minutes of this game, generating better looks in the half court, and they didn't even get out and run and shot poorly from 3. Arizona's got all the answers. They played a game that was slow as dirt against UCLA. This game was faster, but not super fast. It was still pretty slow. Then they played a lightning fast one against Florida, who right now is top 10 in the country in tempo, and outran them. You saw Arizona play a team in Connecticut that Connecticut was able to take away one of the best things that Arizona did in a few of the games where they get out and run. And they only hit 2 threes. Arizona's got the answers. They know what to do. Tommy Lloyd has his best team that Arizona's had under his tenure. I said that before the season. I thought that was going to happen. And there's the other thing. The other thing that I would say really sticks out is most of Tommy Lloyd's teams have been great on offense. Most of them played very quickly. But when slowed down because they're so fast, they've struggled against Clemson. They struggled against Princeton. They struggled against Houston in the tournament. This team has answers for it because they have interior scorers that can get a bucket by themselves and an understanding of who's going to get the ball. And it's not like ISO ball, show off ball. It's different. Now, the last part to this is the defense is way better and more reproducible because you can have two bigs and it allows you to play different styles. You can play switching defense like you did at the end against UCLA, or you can play a heavy drop defense like you did today against UConn. Two different top 15 victories played at a pace not conducive to Arizona's success, one with two different stylistic approaches defensively. And one of them, you got an All-American performance from Peat, and the other one, you got a throwaway performance. And yet you still win both games. This one, a road win. The best win of in the country of anyone in college basketball belongs now to Arizona. The best resume in college basketball belongs to Arizona. And they should be number one in the country when the AP poll comes out. If they're not, kudos to Purdue. They're really good. But it should be Arizona. And they actually deserve, not just because they've beaten teams that two of them I don't think are as good, but they look really good. They have answers to the questions being asked of them by top-tier teams and top-tier coaches. They've beaten Todd Golden, Danny Hurley, and Mick Cronin. And Tommy Lloyd has his best team in Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning in for Postcast. I'll have another recap of the game coming out tomorrow, some different angles to be explored as opposed to the natural emotions that come of winning a close game. Kudos to Tobe Awaka knocking down those vital free throws, also coming to grab that ball when the clock was ticking to 5 seconds on the baseline inbounds. Nearly gave me a heart attack. But Arizona out-rebounds UConn by 20, ended up shooting poorly in this game, but got better looks, had their stars perform like stars, and were the better team through 40 minutes. The deserving team won, and you're looking at the best team in the country thus far. Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Wildcats Postcast. Always a pleasure. Go Wildcats, bear down. Leif Thulin with you here, signing out, and I'll be back with you tomorrow with more Locked On Wildcats.